Today's video feature is a brief overview of the unique challenges whenever you're dealing with a motorcycle accident case. Now, motorcycle accidents almost always result in serious injury, and I remember when I was a registered nurse 40 years ago, I was working in intensive care, and anytime we had a motorcycle accident victim, they were always missing at least part of one appendage. These were very serious, life-threatening injuries, and that's just the nature of being on a motorcycle, because a motorcycle versus a car or truck, the motorcycle rider always loses. They have almost no safety features, certainly nothing with the motorcycle itself. There's no seat belts, no airbags. All they have is their heavy leather jacket and pants and hopefully a helmet. But these are very serious injury cases, and you really need to know what you're doing to properly process and handle them. Now, some of the unique challenges we almost always immediately face is the motorcycle rider is charged with the accident, and we have to first defend the traffic charge. And now, how do we get there? Well, the trooper or sheriff's deputy arrives on scene. The motorcycle rider is seriously injured, so they're on their way to the hospital, and the only person left to say what happened is the person who was involved in the accident. And just imagine that. They typically say it is the motorcycle rider's fault. So the first thing we do is look at the circumstances of the accident, and then we have to go defend the traffic charge so that we can get that matter resolved in the motorcycle rider's favor. Now, once we have that resolved, then we have to look at some of the inherent biases and prejudices, some of the stereotypes against motorcycle riders. Now, we've all seen the young motorcyclist who is speeding through traffic, weaving in and out of cars, maybe even popping wheelies and doing all kinds of dangerous things. Well, that's just the benefits of youth and their perceived immortality. But certainly as we get older, older riders are much more safety conscious, much more prudent. They always have their headlights on. They typically wear helmets. They may get loud pipes on their motorcycle so that if the driver can't see them, then hopefully they can hear the motorcyclist, so maybe they'll stop and hesitate and look around to see where you are. But anytime you're on a motorcycle, I tell all my friends who ride that you absolutely have to be 100% defensive. Always assume the worst and always have an escape plan whenever you're on the road. And of course, if you're on the interstate, the higher the speeds, the faster bad things can happen. So you have to be on even more of a hypervigilant defensive outlook just to try to survive. Now, once we get to the damages portion, the damages are going to be severe. Hopefully, there's going to be enough insurance coverage. A lot of motorcyclists do not have sufficient coverage because the motorcycle accident, they do not have uninsured motorist coverage as they should. And a lot of folks on the road who cause these accidents have only minimum limits, which is $25,000 in South Carolina, slightly higher, $30,000 in North Carolina. And there's just not a lot of coverage. And of course, a lot of folks are out there driving with no insurance at all. So it is a very rare instance in motorcycle cases where we have enough insurance to fully cover your damages and make you whole. So I encourage every motorcycle rider today to call their insurance agent and make sure they have plenty of underinsured and uninsured insurance coverage on their motorcycle so that if you are seriously injured, hopefully we can try to make you whole. Now, these are very complex cases, and I certainly encourage you, if you have something like this, you definitely have to hire a seasoned, experienced motorcycle accident attorney. It will make a huge difference in the outcome of your case, and there's simply no room to spare here. Hope it helps.